Welcome to the DFS Daddy YouTube channel. Hope you're doing well today. Saturday, we got college football games on. We got NFL tomorrow. Man, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a big week. I feel like I've had lots of just close calls, either games that aren't that exciting. I am ready. We got some really good games on the slate. I've identified 6 plays that I want to share with you, give you some of the research and data behind it. And you're also going to see these same picks posted on my Insta, TikTok, and everything. So I wanted to give you a bit more insight since that's what I feel like YouTube is for. I can slow down. I can actually talk and not just like throw all this information out quick. So just going to go here from top to bottom, starting with Andy Dalton, over 217.5 passing yards. This one is close to me. I'm going to take it just because one of my trusted apps, LineStar, loves it. Like they have them going for about 250. The thing I am concerned about is that the Bears defense is, well, maybe I'm talking myself into it because I'm thinking that the Bears defense has struggled to stop the run lately. The Panthers actually have been running the ball pretty well. They have a good secondary. So I've been thinking maybe Andy Dalton will have some struggles passing, then they'll just run the ball. But I think lately, the past 2 weeks, the Bears run D has actually been like one of the tops in the league. Could they be playing bad run D? I mean, they played against the Rams with Kyron Williams, so I'm not too sure. When I see a line like this, like the edge percentage is just massive, and that's what I am always targeting, like the biggest edges and value I can find. And the good thing about a play like this is with Andy Dalton, if they get behind, he's going to throw a lot to get back, and really he's been smashing this line. I just really happy with it. I say smash. He smashed it against the Vegas Raiders, but not against Cincy. Kind of makes sense. This is against the Bears. Not too well of a coach team, if you ask me. But that's going to be my first play. And just a little insider tip. You won't see this on the video, but I have a slip running out in my winnable. If you're not familiar with winnable, I just sent out my plays. I actually paired up Deontay Johnson in this too. So I went ahead and locked in Deontay Johnson. If Andy Dalton's going to go over, it gives a much higher possibility that Deontay will as well. It modifies it a little bit. This is usually a 25x, but it'll be 24 with the correlation is what it's called when you tie those players together. So little bonus tip there. Next up, Garrett Wilson over 55.5 receiving yards. My only concern with this is weather. We might see weather be a factor here, but again, LineStar has him going about 10 yards over this. This is big for me. 220 receiving yards to receivers. That's worse than the league right now. This defense has been playing well. That's not the matter of question, but because they're getting ahead, the offenses on the opposition are having to play catch up. So if the Jets get behind here, this could be just a smash spot for Wilson to just get 10 catches for 120 yards. You never know. So tons of target, tons of receptions. So basically, this is saying receivers are feasting right now against the Vikings. And that's not necessarily just because they're a bad defense. That's not the case. It's a really good defense. But because of that garbage time, and we saw last week against the Packers, what they did in the second half, I really think Rodgers and Wilson are starting to click. There's two great players. Rodgers looks way more healthy than I thought he would. So I'm definitely buying a bit more into Garrett Wilson. So that's going to be my second leg. Garrett Wilson over 55.5. Demarcus Robinson, this one's like a kind of a gross play, but you got to lock it in. He's hit this 9 out of 10 times. That's beautiful. I'm not totally just about past data indicating forward performance, but knowing about these games, he was hitting this even with Puka and Cooper Kupp in the lineup. Now he's doing it. He has the opportunity to do it without them because they're not taking away targets anymore. He's fighting for targets with Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington, who's just kind of popped lately. But we're seeing about a 10 yard gap in the LineStar line versus the over-under. Averaging 41 the last 5. Is there any more insight to the game? So the Packers, we saw what the Packers with Addison and Jefferson were able to do last week. So I think it's a good spot. It's a commendable line where he could even hit that in one play. That's just kind of the way that Demarcus Robinson plays. He still has that big play threat. Next up, Bo Nix over 29.5 pass attempts. I thought this line would have been bumped already. Because if you go look at others, this is one of the lowest on the slate, yet he's been throwing some of the most in the league. Like, look at these first few games. And last week, this is an outlier. That weather was horrible, and his passing yards were disgusting. Like, he had like -7 yards at one point, and they still threw it 25 times. So, I mean, that tells you that Peyton, trust him to run the system. It's a lot of short throws, and that's why we're taking the attempts. And I'm not looking for yardage, just attempts. So 29.5. I really think this is going to get up to 30, maybe 30.5. So I'm locking it in, or I already did. So moving right along here, you heard it in the video. My favorite play is Josh Jacobs over 84.5 rushing receiving yards. Big reason why I'm loving this is just because of the matchup. So line star projecting him for 101. We know he's going against the Rams. He's averaged what this line is over the last 5 games, so 86. He's going against the Rams, who think about what happened last week against the Rams. Here's what happened. Let me find it for you. DeAndre Swift, rushing receiving yards. He had 165. And I would much rather take Josh Jacobs to DeAndre Swift every day, twice on Sunday. So that's going to be really my favorite play, that if they feed him the ball, maybe they let Jordan Love just get a little bit healthy, because Jordan Love threw a lot last week. I was a bit surprised when he came out throwing as much as he did, but when you get behind that much, it is going to kind of happen that way. But I do not expect to see this number. You see how even this number is an outlier compared to others. So that's not the intention. They want to give the ball to Jacobs. They just got behind too much. So game script kind of ruined that. And then Deontay, again, I talked about that line earlier. That's going to be a 6-man for 24x. Guys, 6-man parlays probably scare you. And the reason that it does is because you don't like losing. No one likes losing. But the math behind Prizepicks and like the data shows that 6-man parlays, even 5-mans, are the best ROI, return on investment, that you can get. Really, it's because of the flex payouts that it gives you. It gives you some money back, but it's because of those big multipliers that when you do hit one, it pays you out. So you can outcome the losses on it because you hit one every so often. But the math behind it. So if I was just to delete all these except for like the last 2, let's just assume that these are 50-50 coin flips. 50% times 50% is 25% chance to win. And we're only getting paid 3x, and that doesn't even include our entry fee. So like the odds are so bad here. In order to be a profitable sports bettor betting 2-man plays, you have to be right 58% of the time. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you talk about sports betting, those small percentages mean everything. So being right 58% of the time would make you an elite sports bettor. Like you'd be like one of the greatest on the face of the earth. And expecting to do that consistently day after day, night after night with football, where these lines are so tight because it's such a saturated sport, it's really hard to do. So by increasing the number of legs, it actually decreases the percentage of times you have to be right, because that payout is so much higher when you do hit. It makes it a more profitable bet. And I'm talking small percentage points, but still, I'm going to trust that edge. And as much as I bet just over the years, I'm going to play the advantage where I can. This is a play I have right now. I use my Flex Friday. First leg is already hit, Le'Veon Moss. I played a lot of the studs in college football right now. So Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, Tet McMillan, Ashton Jainty, Cam Ward. So these are crazy numbers. I put it out on my winnable as just like a shot in the dark. Again, it's a protected play, so I'm going for the upside here again. If you want all these plays, you can sign up for my winnable in the bio. If you want any of the other tools or apps that I'm dialed into, PlayerPropShop is a big one. PlayerPropShop, they do daily write-ups for sports. So NFL, boom. I have a whole page of just props that I could take. Maybe I want to bet on some of the MLB playoffs. Boom. Whole page. Maybe I want to dabble into some WNBA. Here we go. Let's see. Do they have any, like, is there any UFC fights coming up? Oh, yeah, there is. Okay. Today. So here you go. It's crazy. PlayerPropShop, just a wealth of knowledge. This is for the tournament that's going on right now. So, guys, PlayerPropShop has been just great to me, and I'm pretty sure they'll still offer you a free week if you use PropShop at checkout, just to get a feel for it. LineStar, you see me using extensively. I also do use it for DFS in terms of like DraftKings, FanDuel to make lineups. It's on college football right now. Go to NFL. Otherwise, you know where I'm playing. I'm playing on Prizepicks predominantly. Chalkboard has been coming up as one of my favorite lately just because of all the flash sales they do. I just love that kind of stuff if they adjust those lines without it affecting the payout too much. And then Sleeper. Sleeper is where I do a lot of my fantasy football and dynasty, but I am starting to do picks a lot more through that as well, as you saw on the video on Instagram. Appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a great Saturday and a great Sunday. NFL, baby. We love it. We live for this. I want to make some money on this. We're going to be locking this in and hopefully paying out 24x. I might even, since these lines haven't moved too much, I might even just play another like 10, 15 on it just to have more exposure to it, truthfully. But I'll make that decision after the video ends. Appreciate you stopping by. Leave a like, leave a comment if you enjoyed it. Would love to give you a free month of VIP picks in my winnable as well if you want to leave a comment and I can hook you up. Have a good one.